सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जल जीरा मसाला।
सिप सिप जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप।
From the Republic Media Network headquarters, it's time for Arnab Goswami on the debate. Arnab Goswami on the debate.
This could be the tipping point. But first, ladies and gentlemen, the Tata Group should stop trying and give lectures about how sincere it is, because as far as we are concerned, the Tata Group should have sacked its CEO, Mr. Campbell Wilson. By now, they should have already done that. But for some reason, the Tata Group MD, Chandrasekaran, is not doing that. Not even after reports have come that Campbell Wilson has allegedly plagiarized his apology speech, and there were reports that he has plagiarized his apology speech from a speech of an American Airlines CEO, Robert Isom, in the US, following a fatal crash in the US of an American Airlines plane. Some people say this is not plagiarization, but if it's not plagiarization, it's even worse. This means there's a standard SOP among these airlines following air crashes where hundreds of people die. They come out with a standard SOP, what seems to be an SOP playbook, standard aviation industry language, in which they say sorry without meaning it. Air India is the biggest aviation mess in the world right now. There is no point for Tata to go and say we are going to make it a safe airline, safest airline, and try and look very earnest. Because if the Tata Group and if Air India was earnest, they would not be taking chances with the lives of people. Today, six Air India Dreamliners have been cancelled. Now, this is extremely serious. 6 Dreamliners alone have been cancelled. I'm not counting 777s or Airbuses. And yet, the Air India is not grounding the 787-8 Dreamliner fleet, which means they don't know what the hell is going on, but they continue to fly the Dreamliner. 6 Dreamliners have been either cancelled or pulled back. 1, San Francisco to Mumbai via Kolkata Dreamliner lands in Kolkata airport and has a major snag in its left engine. Now, this is not a joke. Case 2, please. Case 2, we have a Boeing 787 Dreamliner, cancelled both the outbound flights, inbound return flights between Delhi and Dubai. We don't know the reason for the complete suspension of an international round trip, but obviously significant operational or technical deficiencies. Air India flight 143 Delhi to Paris Dreamliner grounded after a hydraulic leak detected shortly before departure. Hydraulic leak, big problem. This is critical for controlling landing gear, brakes, and other essential flight functions. Another case, Dreamliner, Air India once again, 159 from Ahmedabad to London. Operations are halted before takeoff without a publicly disclosed technical reasons. Now, you should constantly think when there are so many incidents, is there a problem with all the Dreamliners in Air India? But Air India will not learn, will not listen, continues to be arrogant under the rule of the biggest disaster in the aviation industry, Campbell Wilson, supported till now by the Tata Group for God knows what reason. Air India flight AI 315 Hong Kong to Delhi forced to return to Hong Kong mid-air due to an engine to fuel filter bypass. We reported this. This is terrible. Air India flight AI 2820 Delhi to Bangalore made to vacate the aircraft, shifted to a different place many hours later. All of this last 24 hours. Point is, we've had an air crash in this country. What on earth is Air India doing? Why are they flying these planes? has the DGCA relaxed airworthiness requirements for Air India? Or is it that these planes were running like this regardless of what the expectation is? It's only now that these airlines and Air India has realized that pilots are aware, passengers are aware, and news channels, especially Republic, is very activist on this issue, which is why they are not taking chances. But these 787s, which are being routinely flown with deferred repairs, temporary fixes, snag histories, opaque maintenance logs, weak enforcement of basic regulatory clearances, systemic failures, ladies and gentlemen. Our aviation industry has a systemic failure, and I'm not talking about weather-related things. I'm talking about things which are to do with the way the planes run. And we're sick and tired with these self-certifications that the Tata Group is giving Air India. And Air India, Campbell Wilson is reading out what appears to be either plagiarized or industry SOP press releases after hundreds of people have been killed. Do you feel safe? I'm asking you, do you feel safe flying? And if you don't, then I think you need to raise your voice. There is something seriously wrong. The safety of passengers in our country flying in the air has been severely compromised. The central government has appeared extremely lax. And today, the Civil Aviation Minister responded to seconds when Supriya Sule complained. And the Civil Aviation Minister directly responded on DM. Supriya Sule, Sharad Pawar's daughter, puts out a complaint saying, my plane is delayed, no answers, etc. Within seconds, the Civil Aviation Minister replies. Now, I want to ask the Civil Aviation Minister, are you answerable to Supriya Sule or to the people of this country? What about the rest of us? What about Air India? Why are you giving Air India a long leash, Mr. Civil Aviation Minister? How is this acceptable? Why are you not giving clear answers to the people of this country? I want to make it clear tonight, we'll continue to put the pressure on the government, the DGCA, the Civil Aviation Minister, Air India and the Tata Group. Come what may. I know the other channels will go soft. I know they take it easy. I know they'll play safe. But this is Republic. We're going to make it difficult for people who think they are beyond accountability. You must make it difficult for such people too. Let's debate.
The shock and grief of Air India AI 171 is still fresh. Not a week has passed since 241 passengers were charred to death in Ahmedabad plane crash. A series of air safety scares have raised a serious alarm. Early Tuesday, flight AI 180, a long-haul Boeing 777 from San Francisco to Mumbai, made a scheduled stop in Kolkata. But what followed was anything but routine. A technical fault was detected in the left engine just after landing. For hours, passengers sat on board. At 5:20 a.m., they were finally asked to deplane, citing safety concerns. Engineers were seen inspecting the aircraft on the tarmac. Flight AI 2493 from Mumbai to Ahmedabad cancelled. The reason? Operational delays led the crew to exceed their legal duty limits. And it does not stop there. AI 915 Delhi to Dubai cancelled. A Boeing 787 grounded over technical issues. No explanations for stranded passengers. AI 143 Delhi to Paris. Another Boeing B787 aircraft. Another failure. This time a hydraulic leak. AI 159 Ahmedabad to London. A flight to Europe cancelled moments before taking off, citing a last-minute technical snag.
2 बार हमारी ये फ्लाइट कैंसिल हुई है और एयर इंडिया कोई जवाब नहीं देते. हम मैसेज भी करते तो इतना होल्ड होता है, हमको 15-15 मिनट होल्ड रखना पड़ता है और हमको सामने से भी अच्छा कोई रिस्पांस नहीं आता है एयर इंडिया में से. अब हम लोग अभी अगली बार से एयर इंडिया में आने वाले नहीं है.
जब हम इधर आए तो बता रहे थे कि फ़्लाइट है वो डिले हुई है 3 आवर्स. सो हमको 1 PM की जगह 3 PM का टाइम दिया और अभी जब टाइम बोर्डिंग का आया, अंदर जाने का आया, चेक इन का टाइम आया तो वो लोग बोल रहे हैं कि अब फ्लाइट कैंसिल हो गई है। सो वो लोग अच्छे से रिफंड का भी आंसर नहीं दे रहे हैं। हम लोग कॉल सेंटर में बात कर रहे हैं, वहाँ भी कोई भी कॉल रिसीव नहीं कर रहा है।
Each and every person is giving a different reply. One is saying that there is some technical issue. The second one is saying that there is a delay in the flight to reach here from Delhi to Ahmedabad. Therefore, today takeoff is not possible, and other reasons are being stated which are not plausible.
From short-haul domestic to high-profile international routes, technical snags seem to follow the Air India logo across skies and runways. And these are just incidents from the last few days. And despite this, a templated response is all that follows. DGCA summoned Air India Engineering Department head earlier in the day. Aviation authorities are watching, but are they acting? How many more cancelled flights? How many more safety scares? How many more hours must passengers spend stranded without answers?
I mean, this is completely crazy today. It's crazy. It's madness. It's madness. 6 Dreamliner planes have been cancelled. 6. Sandeep, this is madness. This is crazy. This is extraordinary. And look at the arrogance of Air India. They put out a plagiarized statement, I think. The statement of this fellow, this disaster, Campbell Wilson, who Tata Group is supporting till now, appears to be plagiarized from the statement of the American Airlines CEO, some Robert Isom in the US following a fatal crash there. And if it is not plagiarized, that means it's standard industry language and SOP playbook. We're very sorry, blah, 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 insincere nonsense. Now the question is, Parvez, you support Air India after this. Why is Air India flying the Dreamliners? 6 cases in one day. Sorry. Would you take a Dreamliner of Air India tomorrow? Would you take an Air India Dreamliner plane tomorrow, Parvez? Would you?
No, I would not, and I would not let my family fly on it. This kind of behavior from Air India and a Tata Group company is absolutely shocking. I would not have ever expected them to be behaved this way. The passenger service standards and the safety standards cannot be compromised by any airline, maybe A, B, C, D. So there is no excuse for this kind of behavior. This level of cancellation and delays is not acceptable. If they're not sure with the problems with the Dreamliner 787, it would be absolutely a basic courtesy to ground this fleet, make all the correction, do whatever is required to set the fleet right, and then start flying. And the consumer is treated this way. It's very, very shabby and a very sad day for Indian Airlines.
You know, we keep talking about, Tata Group, JRD Tata. JRD Tata started it.
I am shocked with this behavior. I am shocked with the standards of safety and service. Forget safety. Safety is, of course, priority number one. But service, no communication to the passenger, delays, cancellation on short hauls, long hauls, everywhere. This kind of standards are not expected from a Tata Group company, and they have to take people to task, whether it's the head of engineering, whether the CEO. Heads have to roll, Tatas have to sharpen up their act. This is not acceptable. I'm sure the DGCA is on them. And
but we are always told, we ask a few questions. Tata Group. Does the Republic Group know how to run an airline? If the Republic Group does not know how to run an airline, let the Tata Group do it. You guys shut up. What do you know? Blah, blah, blah. You heard that argument. I'm saying Parvez Damania says today that Air India and the Tata Group, he says Air India and the Tata Group, their behavior is shocking. And I know
absolutely shocking.
It's absolutely shocking,
absolutely unacceptable, and cannot be tolerated. The way the consumer is being treated is really sad. It's a sad day for Indian Airlines and aviation in India. Was the crash where so many people have lost their lives. Up till now, no real explanations have come forth. We, till today, so many days have passed, do not know the exact reason for the crash. No serious explanation has come forward. Only theories are coming forward. Tata Group by now should come forward with a very clear statement and taking action and what they've done for the cause and the cause of this accident. Nobody knows. Everybody's just
No,
guessing.
no.
Tatas have not come up with a clear-cut answer to the reason.
5 or 6 Dreamliners, 6 I think Dreamliners cancel. And I would have thought, Sandeep, the least the Tata Group is not going to collapse financially if it stops flying the Dreamliner for a while.
No, they will not collapse. The
Then
airline
nothing will happen and people will find alternative ways of traveling. But the point is, Sandeep, you take a risk. Parvez Damania says, I would not fly a Dreamliner, neither would my family fly a Dreamliner on Air India today.
I
Sandeep.
normally am very brief on your shows, but today allow me 30 seconds because I have a lot of a few important points to make. I think at the moment, the Air India, and I would extend to Tata Group, is having a leadership crisis. There is a total leadership crisis, and there is no idea of crisis management. I was just reading a long tweet, and I presume it is true. Today, at the cremation of this captain, there was not a single senior Tata Group representative, not the managing director, not any of their board members, and
Very sad,
anybody
very sad.
from Tata sons who was present there. I personally recall, Arnab, in 1993, there was an Indian Airlines crash in which 2 of my colleagues passed away. My companies, not only the entire board, the chairman, but all past chairmen who were alive, they were all there at the crematorium with the family. And this just shows the lack of empathy, the lack of connect. And everything else which you're hearing, Arnab, I was reading an explanation about the Bangalore flight cancellation. Again, as you were saying, a templated response. The flight was cancelled because of lack of availability of aircraft, which happened because of the mandated, testing which the DGCA has recommended. And we had informed all the passengers. Whereas, as you're hearing, most of the cases, passengers are not. So there is also a morale issue among the existing staff. And that is a big issue. I'm not getting into the other points which you've already covered, and I'm sure others will talk. But what is the leadership doing? An organization like Tata Sons should step in there, because if your morale is destroyed down the line, so whatever you have will collapse. It's not just a question of the brand. And where will if people are losing, therefore, whether it's a Dreamliner or anything, people will not have the confidence to fly Air India if they think that, down the line, there is total demoralization. And this is a very, very serious issue. You cited Supriya Sule's case, and where the Minister of Civil Aviation is replying, but where is even Air India or anybody responding to that? With due credit, we all criticize Indigo. If you did a tweet, next moment, at least their social media cell response. Here, total silence. I think that shows a callousness, but more importantly, what is worrying is, which one didn't expect from a private sector organization like Tata Sons. I could understand it from the old PSU, that there is this level of insensitivity and lack of leadership.
No, I think that's shocking. I felt so bad that at a time when all the people are so angry. I mean, I really think, what is the Civil Aviation Minister doing? Civil Aviation Minister, Supriya Sule says, I am very angry, my plane is 3 hours late, very bad, very bad. Oh, Miss Sule, immediate reply. Oh, Ms. Sule, we are very concerned. We are looking into it. I have issued instructions so that you are not put into any trouble. I mean, at a time when 270, 280, maybe God knows how many, probably 300 people have died, Civil Aviation Minister Rahul Ishwar responds within seconds to Sharad Pawar's daughter as if nobody else is a lesser citizen. 6 Dreamliners cancelled. Tata Group picks up what appears to be a plagiarized statement and tells Alex Campbell Wilson to read it. People are being taken for a royal ride in this country. Rahul Ishwar.
And Arnabji,
royal ride in this country.
Everyone expected, the Air India standards to go up when Tata came in. And it's unfortunate that people are not feeling the trust. And it's very important to feel safe. As many of the people said, let's be very honest. If my family or I have to go in Air India, we will definitely have a rethink before going. And Air India at one point of time, was one of the iconic brands. This is the reason why, as I totally agree with all the panelists, there's a leadership crisis. They need to come in. They need to give reassurance. And Arnabji may remember 2020, Air India under the other leadership, in Kozhikode, my own home state, nearly 21 people died because of the overshooting of the runway. See, these kind of things really scare people. And I hope Air India, should definitely answer. I know I had an opportunity. Right now I'm in Pune, Maharashtra. Starting from Kerala, I felt it is more safer with other airlines. So this is the space where the leadership should proactively work. They should communicate their empathy to the people. And there has been many such scares. I have been checking for the past news, and there have been many incidents regarding such reported over the past many years. It's high time the leadership seriously approaches this, address these concerns.
No, they won't, because they are outsourcing it. Their problem with the people managing stuff for the Tata Group is they probably think this is a PR crisis. No, it's not. It's a Tata Sons crisis. It's a Tata Group crisis. It's an Air India crisis. Don't think this is a PR crisis. It's an organizational crisis. And my question is, would JRD Tata have allowed this mess in Air India if he were alive today, if he were in charge today, Mr. Damania? Would JRD Tata have said, fly the Dreamliners, doesn't matter?
If you remember, when there was a
JRD Tata would not have compromised the lives of passengers.
He would have at least spoken.
Ratan Tata ji himself went to every funeral, met every family, and he showed real courage and leadership. This kind of leadership is definitely lacking. This crisis is not small. 270, 280 people have died. We don't even know what has happened to the number of people in the hostels. How many bodies have not found? The team of Tata's leadership, including the Tata Sons, should be meeting the family, attending funerals.
No, I think the government should also ask the civil aviation minister of the country. The government, the central government. I'm nobody to advise. But if I were to say that today it looks bad, that civil aviation minister responds immediately to Sharad Pawar's daughter. That I'm sorry. But what about the number of people? Does the civil aviation minister know? Does the civil aviation minister in the Modi government know how many people have died? How many Air India people, passengers suffer every day? I'm sorry, but would the civil aviation minister tell me how many ordinary Indians he responds to on a daily basis within minutes? Or does the civil aviation minister feel answerable only to Sharad Pawar's daughter? Because NCP Sharad Pawar is a prospective ally in the Modi government. Somebody is going to have to speak up for this mess. This is favoritism. This is wrong. This is taking the people for a ride, and this is making the people of this country very, very angry. Extremely angry. Captain Tanushree Bhalla is a whistleblower. She's a former Boeing 737 MEIR pilot. She's an attorney jurist in the Supreme Court. And I'd like your views today. Captain Bhalla, just tell me one thing first. I put you, and they've got Captain Kabir Malik also. They say, Arnab, do you know how to fly a plane? Does Republic know how to run a plane? So shut up and keep quiet. That's what these pro-Air India people tell me. As a person, I'm saying, why are 6 Dreamliners being cancelled? I asked someone today. They said, you're responsible. I said, why am I responsible? They said, now the pilots are worried because you guys in the media are picking it up. I said, this is the most insane argument I've heard so far. And what's going on, Captain?
I would like to weigh in on that, Arnab. First of all, I would like to compliment you and Republic for being so vociferous on this. Pilots, any sane pilot would actually be happy about this. I know there are management pilots who would always come out in the favor of the management, and and it is very easy to blame the pilots. It has become a fashion to blame the pilots because they can you get to avoid liability by this, and the DGCA is not being fair either. So how do you explain that? And about SRDs, one more thing I would like to bring here, which is not in public domain. Air India, before its acquisition back between 2012 and 2017, had special recruitment drives, and if everybody knows, special recruitment drives are done on the basis of caste. Merit is not seen in those. And special recruitment drives in fields like aviation for pilots and medical fields is clearly mentioned as not requisite and not advisable in the constitution of the country. Then how was Air India doing SRDs and overlooking merit? And how has the DGCA and the training division gone through it and seen that this was rectified? Does anybody have answer to that?
So you're saying there's favoritism, there's corruption, there's bad methods, but you see, what happens is now, Captain Tanushree, you know, we are always told our civil aviation sector is a great shining example of how well the country is doing. Is it? Just because people have to fly, does that make the aviation sector a success? I don't think so. I think people in this country, flyers, are taken for a royal ride. The Civil Aviation Minister of India in the Modi government must tell me why he chose to respond to Sharad Pawar's daughter. How is she so important? This is the problem. Nothing has changed in this country as far as passenger flying is concerned. Captain, you tell me, Captain Kabir Malik, you are defending the airlines. Why are 6 Dreamliners being cancelled in one day? By one airline called Air India?
Facts, Mr. Arnab, I would like to address you regarding these things. Why did it happen? If you know, on 12th of June, what was happened with the same machinery? It was sunk in the grave of fire along with 42 people, and almost 241 has been died in this incident. After that, there is one guideline had been issued by the DGCA that all the Dreamliner which is come in the same category like 787 and rest of other also soon will be grounded. And I'm just
why have they not been grounded so far?
Yeah.
Why have they not been grounded so far? Today, why have the Dreamliners not been grounded so far? Don't tell me. Air India is doing it in national interest.
Right.
National interest or commercial interest?
Yeah, it's a commercial interest. I do agree. But there is a point. If you just let me come to the point. After that, those machines were on the sortie on the final, final round. So these are all on the air that time. The moment they came back, and there is after that some checks had been done by the technicians on the ground, like in Calcutta, and rest of 2, 3 or more flights. They found that some hydraulical this leakage, and there is some problem with.
Sir,
the
I
machine.
want to know today. I am 1 minute. So I am an enlightened citizen today. If you can't today, and this is Tata Group, you can't say today, okay, just get off the plane, man. We have technical problems. A plane, San Francisco to Mumbai, okay, not Dreamliner, it's a Boeing 777-200 LR, arrives in time, technical snag in left plane, left engine, takeoff gets delayed. I want to know what is the technical snag in the left engine. I am told, why should you know? You are a flyer, what do you know? What knowledge do you want? You get into the plane, put on your seatbelt, take off your seatbelt and get out. This is no way of treating me. There's been a crash 2 days before. Today, 6 Dreamliners have been cancelled. And Civil Aviation Minister responds to Supriya Sule. Will he respond to Rahul Ishwar? Will Civil Aviation Minister respond to J. Venkateshwar Rao? Or do you have to be a politician's child to get a response? I mean, I don't know. J. Venkateshwar Rao, this is crazy. When you raise questions, you say you're accused of defamation. They take you to court, they threaten you, etc. Right?
I appreciate your this question that there is a VIP culture in India. You know very well why they.
No, but Tata Group has the VIP culture gone.
Not in this Tata Group. Not in this Tata Group. Is in every airline, or you can see in every sector there is the most welcome of the VIP.
Sir,
I do agree.
But six planes cancelled. 6 planes cancelled.
Yes, it was in the routine and the guideline issued by the DGCA.
6 planes cancelled.
It was earlier, but why they took time to ground on this, and they just giving reason behind that.
So why is Campbell Wilson still sitting in office? Because Air India thinks that removing Campbell Wilson will be an admission of guilt. Mr. Rao, how do you view the current situation? Nightmare, should I say?
Yeah, Arnab, just give me at least 30 seconds to speak. You're doing a lot of disservice to JRD Tata by even mentioning his name on these programs. He would not brook a single violation. That man was that meticulous and that particular. I have been flagging violations from 2008. I've gone to the courts. The courts have been a little slow. I've been taken for defamation. I have been harassed. My services have been terminated. I'm still fighting a legal battle. But the fact remains, as I told you, is just by changing the colors or the logo, it doesn't change the culture. The culture needs to change. We have carried the same babus from the old Air India to the new Air India. And in the new Air India, the babus and the corporatization of things, they are only worried about their profits. They are not worried about the passengers' safety. They're not worried about anything. Like I said, I don't know whether I can blame the present Civil Aviation Minister, but I have flagged this issue to him also. I have flagged it to earlier ministers also. I have flagged it to earlier DGCA people also. But there has been no response. And Arnab, I take responsibility for this statement, but DGCA is the most rogue organization. They have been tweaking rules so that Air India can profit. I can show you mails where Air India has written to DGCA that if you bring in this rule, my profitability will go. Can you imagine? And DGCA quietly says, okay, you carry on. We will not write anything to you. You don't write to us. This has been the culture for the last, from 2008, we are in 2024. This has just been the culture. Carry forward. And like I said, VIP culture, it is in our country. Everybody expects, on the top expects that they need to be treated separately than somebody else, than the common man. The common man doesn't exist in today's political world. I have flagged it. I mean, just to close my mouth, they went in for defamation. I have filed my reply. Air India has not filed their reply in the last 3 years in the defamation matter. And like I was on a program with Mr. Damania and he said, no, lawyers should come and defend. But defend the indefensible? Defend what is documented? I have, like you said, Campbell, in 2023, Arnab, this is the letter. 13 audit reports were forged. Campbell was the accountable manager. What did DGCA do? Nothing. 2023, we are in 25. Imagine audit reports were being forged. What are you expecting? This culture will go on, and there is a political backing to all the people who are committing frauds. And they are more interested in their profitability, their promotions, their bonuses, their ESOPs.
Sir,
nobody is bothered about the traveling public.
I request there should be a national awakening. If I'm listening to this, Parvez, somewhere
yes,
I feel, and today we put a poll out tonight.
You are right. No passenger, if there is a technical snag, if there's a problem, it is the passenger's right to know what is wrong with the aircraft.
Correct.
It is a passenger's right to know what the technical snag is.
Yeah.
He has paid for the ticket you demanded. He has paid the price and he has a right. The consumer has to be treated better. The consumer cannot be taken for granted.
Parvez, you run an airline, right? You had an airline named after you. One minute. You run an airline. You have run an airline. You know the business. Your airline did well, then it folded up, no problem. But the fact of the matter is you ran an airline. You had a deal with Kingfisher. I know everything. You have been on the board of Kingfisher, okay? Now, would you have retained your CEO?
No.
With this track record, as Campbell Wilson has?
The minute this kind of incident occurs, he should have taken responsibility and resigned himself. Somebody should take the responsibility. He should come out and say, I am the CEO, I am responsible, I take full responsibility for this and I handed my resignation. He should have gone to the board and resigned, and the board should have gracefully accepted and taken the blame. The Tata board should come out, Air India board
should come out. Can I ask you one more question tonight? I'm not taking names, but there appears to be a business problem that the industry has. The fact is they spend a lot of money. Let's look at Indigo. I don't know their present situation. I'm told they are doing better than before, but they're still not running huge profits, right? You would have expected an airline, it has 60 to 65% market share, Sandeep, right? You run a business, but it's still not making major profits or profits at all. I don't know. In that given situation, is it that I'm not saying Indigo, but are airlines forced to compromise passenger safety? For example, a particular airline recently flew in very bad weather. Very, very, very bad weather. Today's weather system, Sandeep, we can predict the weather down to a T, right? There is a hailstorm, the plane is in terrible situation, the entire nose of the plane comes out, it lands in Srinagar, it's called a miracle. Now, if you knew this was the weather, why did you run the plane? Is it because if you cancel it, the commercial implication on the airline is too much? Is that why the Dreamliners are flying today despite obvious questions being asked? 6 Dreamliners cancelled. So somewhere our aviation players, including those who are part of these effective duopolies, putting their financial interests first and passenger interests next. After that, way after that.
Arnab, first of all, there can be only two answers to this. When you're canceling 6 aircrafts, flights, are you doing it because of fear or because of regulations, or do you think there is a genuine reason to cancel it? And if so many aircrafts have to be grounded, then why are you running the fleet with the rest? What's the guarantee that other aircrafts will not also have the same problem?
Correct. That is my biggest concern.
I'm not even getting into the question why these were not detected earlier. You mentioned DGCA. DGCA is now raising questions about what they had told the airline to do, but that's another story why DGCA themselves did not insist and enforce that. While you're saying, Arnab, there is an issue about the cost element, but the airline or any business cannot make money until it jacks up, it gets its revenue. And revenue you will get only when people fly. Air India's bigger source is the international sectors, etc. Now, if they don't uplift their image over there, they don't increase their efficiency of turnaround. You're talking of Indigo. Parvez is in the business. He'll say Indigo has cut costs because see the level of turnaround they do, how they have increased their efficiency. So work on that rather than cutting corners or taking chances, running old fleets which are not properly maintained or rest of it. And Parvez, it's not a question of whether I'm a paying passenger or not. When you're carrying me, even if you're carrying me, the point I'm making is you're responsible for my life. So,
Absolutely. And Arnab, in the past, DGCA has grounded fleets. It's not uncommon. And if you go back a little, the 787 had a battery problem. The battery used to catch fire. That time, the 787 fleet all over the world was grounded. When the 320 MAX had a problem, the fleet was grounded. So the DGCA has grounded fleets in the past.
So, not DGCA. Not DGCA. I'll come in on this. No. 1 minute. Just one point. Parvez, let's be precise here. Sorry. In January 2013, the whole 787 Dreamliner fleet worldwide was grounded because of multiple battery electric failures.
Correct.
Now, that decision was taken by the FAA in America, not by DGCA. The DGCA issued a national ground stop. Moment FAA lifted its thing, then DGCA also came in, which means we are following what FAA is doing. We have no mind of our own. Captain Rakesh Rai, there are 6 Dreamliners cancelled today. 6. And the situation is getting really messy, isn't it?
The way I look at it, the 6 groundings are not because of problems with the aeroplane. It's the DGCA directive to carry out checks on those 6, on all the aeroplanes. For checks to be carried out, the aeroplanes have to be taken off the line. So when aeroplanes are taken off the line, all the sectors cannot be serviced.
Sir, the Ahmedabad Gatwick service AI 159, right, was cancelled because of unavailability of aircraft due to airspace restriction and additional precautionary checks.
Correct.
Right? Now tell me, you are saying it's not because of any technical slag, it's because of additional precautionary checks.
Correct.
Okay. So are you trying to say that this additional precautionary check was decided in the last half an hour?
No.
So the passengers, the price of an Air India business class Ahmedabad to London is 2,12,531 rupees. The cancellation happens last minute.
To carry out checks on 34 aeroplanes cannot be done in 2 or 3 days.
And let me ask you, Air India flight AI 180 Boeing 777-200, technical slag on the left engine halted in Kolkata.
Yeah,
so and 1 minute. So Air India flight Delhi-Paris grounded because of hydraulic leak?
Possible.
So Air India Ahmedabad flight gets cancelled. 1 minute, sir. Sir, the question is, there are Air India 787 flight AI 315 carrying 200 passengers returns because of suspected technical issue?
Yes.
This is not precautionary check?
Because of this heightened.
So what do you mean heightened precautionary check, sir? I'm sorry. Captain Tanushree?
I would like to state here.
Captain Rai, if I may. So there are two things that I would like to point out about training and technical in this particular
take callers
case.
now,
In Air India, and so sometime back, Air India about pilots recruitment was recruiting pilots on this Boeing fleet and even on Airbus. I believe it was Airbus. And they started charging, and what I saw there, one of my students, yesteryear students, pointed it out. They were charging 1 lakh rupees for the sim session of the interview. Now, no company is ethically supposed to be charging for an interview. That means only people who afford it will be paying that and coming. That means you are effectively raising the barrier for meritorious students who don't have that money. 1. 2. About the 787. Sir, in this particular case, the rat has deployed. It is visible in the video. That only happens. Sir, you're a very senior pilot. I'm a 737 pilot. I'm sure you know better. But the fact is that the rat only deploys when there's a dual engine failure or there's an electric failure or there's a hydraulic failure. Now, there is no information on the APU whether the APU was deployed or not. We are both aware that if it ain't a Boeing, I ain't going came because there was an APU. There is no information on the APU. And we are also both aware how many airlines have been caught forging technical records and records of maintenance. And this particular aircraft has had issues for a very long time. So if 6 aircraft are found lacking, there has to be a maintenance issue. It cannot be a precautionary issue. I mean, I'm only imploring this. I request you to weigh in on this.
Can I respond to that?
Yes, you can, Captain.
Please do, sir. Please.
The recruitment of pilots has got, first of all, nothing to do with this accident. Number 2, APU, I don't know what's the procedure on 737. I don't remember. I have flown 737 for a long time. The APU is switched off after startup procedure, and APU is not on for takeoff. So after the aircraft has got airborne, listen to me. After the aircraft is airborne, the APU is off. APU is switched off before the aircraft is taken off. So the question of APU remaining on or coming on doesn't arise. So when the dual engine failure takes place, or a total hydraulic failure or total electrical failure, the rat will come on. So where is the question of APU being
I will weigh in on that, sir. I will weigh in on that, sir. Sir, our QRH, whenever there's an engine failure, what does it say? Now at 600 feet, I understand it is not possible.
Your QRH is different from Dreamliner QRH. Your QRH is not the standard QRH for 787.
Please give me 10 seconds, sir. Please give me 10 seconds. What does the standard Boeing QRH for anything weighing? It says if you have an engine failure, you restart it, right? And normally it is assumed that you will have at least one engine.
You have to look at the timeline, the amount of time the pilots had.
Exactly. Sir, you are not giving, sir, please give me some time. Sir, give me.
The amount of time the pilots had from the time the engine may have failed to the point of impact.
Sir, I have already said that this was too low for that. I understand that.
So are you trying to say that the APU, the moment you switch on the APU, it comes on? No.
Sir, if you don't allow me to speak, I cannot
takes
speak.
About 35
So let her respond to you, Captain.
So please,
Captain, let her respond to you. She wants to say something.
You're not even letting me speak. No, you're not even letting me speak, sir. You're very senior. I don't want to interject you. But what I'm trying to say is, sir, that our QRH is very, very silent on a rare dual engine failure. Our QRH assumes that eventually one single engine will come on, but this height wasn't, this particular height wasn't even enough for that. And APUs, yes, they are turned off before the takeoff, but they are supposed to be there as a backup in extreme emergency.
My point is,
and that is also there for a purpose.
Even if he had
so my point is that there has to be an issue with the aircraft.
Tell me the timeline.
Sir, how is the timeline important when the issue is between the aircraft maintenance or...
Okay, now, if I, Captain Ryan, Captain Tanushree, if I can come in on this. See, my point is, we are passengers. While this issue goes on and 6 Dreamliners gets cancelled and there is a mess everywhere, Swapnil, what happens to us? What happens to us? Swapnil Kothari is a senior advocate and coming on as an angry citizen voice from Mumbai tonight. Swapnil.
Well, Arnab, nothing happens. We just pray. We just pray to God. We only pray to God, believing that hopefully we will not be one of those people who've succumbed, or we'll be one of those lucky survivors who will be sitting next to an emergency seat, whilst the civil aviation minister and the CEO of this particular airline, Air India, twiddles his thumbs and does nothing. I absolutely fail to understand that if this was any other country with a responsibility for certain airline, this CEO would have seen the light, would not have seen the next day in office. That somewhere the accountability has to fix, Arnab. It cannot be 4 days of Republic TV and then finally people coming around.
Rahul Ishwar, what do you think? Rahul Ishwar, Citizen Voice from Thiruvananthapuram.
That outrage is there. I would humbly request all those people in the aviation industry to understand that outrage is there. Many media may not be carrying it, but Republic is rightly carrying that outrage because there is a scare for people. No, we at the end of the day, we don't understand your technical language. You are speaking Greek to us. We are concerned regarding our safety and we want somebody to be held accountable for this action because nearly 300 people lost their life. 300 families have been orphaned and there should be somebody accountable for this. So rather than speaking, of course, I respect their technicalities, but that for a normal man, the safety is important. A brand like Air India imploding and collapsing like this is absolutely sad. This is what they have to
Ramdas calling from Bengaluru. We are taking hot and live calls tonight. Ramdas from Bengaluru, please, Ramdas.
Hi, Arnab. I'm very happy that Republic is the only channel who is giving continuous coverage of such, national interest, and such matters which are related to we the people of India. The Republic is the only channel who covered very extensively the IPL mishap. Thank you for that. But in my opinion, I think it is the maintenance, management, and DGCA inspection is the main culprit here. It is not only
correct. DGCA is yes, sir.
Irrespective of Air India. Maybe we don't know what is happening with other airlines as well.
Sir, you are blaming a DGCA. That's very good, sir. I also want to tell you Republic is the only non-corporate owned large network, which is an independently owned network in the country. And at times like this, that reflects. Murli is calling in from Hubli. Murli.
Hello.
Hi, Murli.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. My condolences to all the families who are really shaken up and this thing. But you see, postmortem is not at all required here. Required is that Air India or any other airline to take the safety of the passengers should be at the helm. You see, they don't talk about this money matter and all that. All these people who are talking on that, they are talking about, they are supporting the airliners. Don't do that, please.
So it's very dangerous. I agree with you, Murli. I agree with you, Murli. Passenger first. Let there be cancellations. No problem. You can't fly in Air India, flying from London. Fine. You'll fly some Gulf Air. You'll fly KLM. You'll find a way to get back to your country. But Air India should be careful about flying Dreamliners in this situation. Kriti from Belgaum. Kriti.
Good evening, Arnab sir.
Good evening.
And good evening to all the panelists. Thank you for having me. What I would like to say is... Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, loud and clear, Kriti. Go on.
What I would like to say is my heartfelt condolences to the family of grieving, and then this has really shattered each and every person. My heart really goes out to the pilot, his family, and to all the other people on the flight. Now, coming back to giving the onus, if Mr. Campbell has been shamelessly holding on to his seat, why isn't the Mr. Campbell, the CEO, why isn't the Tata taking any action on him?
Absolutely. My words exactly, Kriti. I don't know what's going on with the Tata Group. They're trying to handle this like a PR disaster. It's not. It's an organizational mess. Venkatraman from Chennai. Venkatramanji.
Yes, Arnab. It's really, my condolences to all the families who are deceased. At the same time, Arnab, you are doing a wonderful job by, taking up the. I appreciate your anguish, your disappointment, and your views regarding how Air India should have been more careful and all. I agree with that. But at the same time, can you completely prevent accidents? It is not possible. If you see the overall percentage of accidents, it is very less. Of course, really the people are unfortunate. My heart is with them.
Yes.
At the same time, I would like to mention one thing. Every day, 474 people are dying in road accidents in India.
No, Venkatraman, I agree with you on that, but you can't use that to justify that if 400 people die in road accidents, 250 can die in plane accidents, right, Rahul? Rahul?
There's no equivalence. With due respect, sir, there is no equivalence. Even
there's no equivalence on that. Okay,
so we cannot compare like that.
Yeah.
Yes, Arnab, see, Mr. Venkatraman, I'll tell you something. Accidents happen. That's a very, very specious statement to make. You need to take care of your maintenance. You need to maintain.
Sri Charan from Mysuru, last caller tonight. Sri Charan. Sri Charan from Mysuru.
Condolences to all the families of grieving, and thanks for taking this up, Arnab sir.
Thank you.
I don't want to make speculations over here, but passengers trust that aircraft they're boarding is airworthy.
Yeah.
But what we are seeing is now shocking.
Yeah.
And my point is the Air India CEO should answer and not make a template answer or resign.
I agree with you,
equal
Sri Charan.
responsibility holds good with DGCA and Civil Aviation Ministry also, sir. Because how did they approve the safety audits become a question?
I agree with you. I agree with you, sir. I thank you so much. We couldn't take many calls tonight, but I thank you, everyone. We're losing time and we're losing an opportunity to fix this. 7 incidents in 72 hours. We have a right to raise our voice. We have a right to be alarmed. At 9 p.m. tonight, what is Trump going to do? How much escalation could happen tonight between Israel and Iran? When we are back.
Time for a quick breather. Arnab will be right back with the debate.
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDA चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDA चटनी पुदीना मसाला।